We're on.
Okay, why is the lighting crazy?
Okay. So
oh, no, it's better now, right?
Is it better? I don't know.
We're using a new computer because my computer was about to overheat and explode. Hey,
no, I'm James Wesley. This
Seth
is my
Rudetsky.
husband. We never say that, I don't think.
I'm ashamed. No, we're married. Seth Rudetsky.
Welcome to Stars in the House. Twice daily, yes, that's right, twice daily, a matinee and an evening show, not just on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but every single day until Broadway reopens, and it's full, we would like to say, of entertainment and education with our, as every show should have, a chief medical correspondent from CBS News, Dr. John LaPook.
That's what we have, of course. Smiling. Hi, Dr. LaPook. You'll be back. Look how cute he is, all dressed up. By the way, we got busted. We got a comment. Totally true. This is episode 18. You guys are off by 2.
We put number 23. We don't have a live-in assistant, and we lost track.
Can't keep track. Thanks, Zach. Okay, sorry. So this is the fundraiser for the Actors Fund. We got to just clarify, the Actors Fund is not just for actors.
Right.
It's for anybody in the entertainment field. They're not just people on stage. So it's actors, musicians, ballet dancers, opera companies, ushers, box office, all across the country.
That's right.
The entire television community, movie community, anyone that works can get help from the Actors Fund, no matter what they do. Anyone that makes money as a professional entertainer, or in the business, will get money from the Actors Fund for rent, for medical needs, anything.
So a little update, Jason Daniely wrote to you, right, Seth?
Yeah.
And had a friend who is hard of hearing or deaf and said, how can we do this? And, to get it closed captioned. And it turns out that the technology with this, it's a great platform, StreamYard.com, and we highly recommend it to any theater company, any professional arts company or community theater around the country to use it to do your own fundraisers. But anyway, it's not easy to you can't just like throw on some automatic bot that will generate captions. So here's the deal. This is my sort of ask for people that are watching. It just so happens that my first job when I moved to Los Angeles when I was 19 was working for the National Captioning Institute. And Marlee Matlin was the spokesperson. And I even took like a sign language class there for a little while that they offered. And so here's the deal. If anyone is watching who has the ability to do real-time captioning, and I just confirmed that is possible because this lives something in the cloud, whatever that means, and it can be done live, but we need volunteers, people who I know that you're out there who have that equipment at home. So if you do, Seth, you can go to starsinthehouse.com. I guess it doesn't hurt to put the banner up in that little scroll since this is...
You need to email us?
Yeah, to email... You can do that, or go right to the website, starsinthehouse.com, and email me if you know. Maybe you can do it, but I think it really is important. We want to reach the reason why we're doing this is not only to raise much needed money for the Actors Fund, but also to get the word out. And of course,
to help isolation. I mean,
that's right.
It's helping people feel together and imagine the show is on and you can't enjoy it because you're deaf. It never even crossed my mind.
And we want to be as inclusive as we can. So please help us. We could get this started tomorrow to start closed captioning this, but we need people who will volunteer. Seth, you had something really fun.
So don't forget, you donate at starsinthehouse.com and all the money goes to the Actors Fund. And very excitingly today, Tina and Jeff are going to match the donations being raised today. So let's really make those mother effers pay. So raise those damn donations because it's going to be matched by Tina and Jeff, whatever the hell we raise. So literally call now. I don't care what you're doing. Start watching the show. Donate at starsinthehouse.com.
So I have an exciting update that you don't even know.
Yes.
So we have gotten so many letters from people saying, I saw that Laura Benanti is donating not one but 2 pairs of shoes from Sound of Music, her Broadway debut. That Betty Buckley has all these items from when she was in Cats, including like part of the set, right, and her wig that she wore, all sorts of things. But it was becoming overwhelming because Joanna Gleason is the one who started this, which is amazing. She has the staff that Bernadette Peters used in Into the Woods.
Yeah.
And she is donating that to the Actors Fund. Do you have a picture?
I have a picture for her. This is the staff.
It's so cool.
This is her on the show.
And in fact, Seth, the last bid that we got when we were really doing it old school of emails was $1,500. Well, because we got to centralize this thing because everyone is volunteering, is we already have, and thanks to Vanessa Brown, one of our volunteers, she has started with the Actors Fund an eBay account. Yes, eBay. So the account is called Stars House 20. I haven't even told Seth this. So he's going to literally write it right now. Stars House 20. So if you're the person who had bid, there were like 4 people who had bid $1,000 for the staff, and someone then bid $1,500 or via email, go now to eBay, Stars House 20. Now, the Laura Benanti shoes aren't up yet. Those others, they may be by the time we're done with the show. Yeah. But that's where you will go. And I have a feeling, Seth, we're going to get people who are donating, because most people are home, are going to get items every day. And so now we're ready. So Seth, let's start.
So we're going to start. Oh, wait, the last thing is
there's one more thing.
Everyone's got to share.
Yes.
So the more people that know about this, the more people that will be watching, the more people that will be donating. So right now, just, whatever, copy and paste the link, put it on your Facebook, your Instagram, your instant message, your AIM. Does that even exist anymore? But just share this so more people can please watch your Facebook everywhere. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. And I have, I'll say when you bring them on. Go ahead.
Okay. So, whoa. John the Poop already pledged. He said already pledged. Yeah. This is so exciting. Okay, so let me please bring on our first 2 guests, another happily married couple. Perhaps they fight in private like we do constantly all day long. Please welcome Tina Fey and Jeff Richmond.
Hi,
guys.
Hi. Finding our lens.
Hold on. There we go. Oh. I think your mic is muted. Are you on?
Oh, let's see.
Now we hear you.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
I'm going to put on my glasses. See you guys.
Okay, so tell us where you're broadcasting from.
We are broadcasting from our apartment, and we've been talking about how to mitigate our very different head sizes, because I have a really small head and Jeff has a big, tall, red head.
And I just realized that my cup is so large that it takes up a good portion of the framing. This was a bad idea for cup choice.
Which is better, since both of you are producers? Is it this or that for intimacy? What do you think we should do?
I think this.
Okay.
I'll regret it later when I watch it back.
Looks good.
Okay, so Tina and Jeff, first I thought I'd start by just saying how we actually met, which has to do with the fact that, like I said, when we're not on camera, we're fighting all day long. So why did you initially reach out to me, Tina Fey?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was obsessed with you, right? And your radio show. But is this a different story than what you're asking?
Well, that's sweet. No, you
first contacted.
You contacted me because Jeff maybe wasn't as
appreciative
of your voice.
That's right. This was my excuse to meet you, because I was obsessed with your radio show. I had to audition for something where I was gonna have to sing, and Jeff, even though he's a musician, he can't teach me a song because he's always like, why are you singing like that? And then I get very short. We fight. If I have to sing something, I get anything that I ever had to sing on 30 Rock or whatever, I feel like he always has sabotaged me and put it in the worst possible way.
She has a weak instrument.
I've been told by many professionals that I have a weak instrument.
She has a weak instrument.
I mean, I'm not like Madonna in the bathtub weak, but it's not great. And so I called Seth and I was like, I have to practice for this audition, and if I ask Jeff to do it, we'll get in a fight. And so Seth came and helped me.
Well, I think actually you did try to coach the song. You sang it once and he literally said, are you really going to sing it that way? And then you were like, you know what?
You're like, you know what? I'm going to call Seth. And like every audition I've ever been on, I didn't book it.
Maybe you should have let me work with you. Maybe if I had worked on it,
well, we'll see.
You might have gotten that gosh darn part.
You're telling me? Really?
Oh.
Let's try to sync it better. Okay, so I want to go on to the next thing, which is, so I started this podcast right here. I'm going to show you a little link. It's called Seth Rudetsky's Back to School. It's on SiriusXM. Tina, you're my first guest. I just want to give away one of the things in the podcast. Could you please tell everybody, when you look like this, by the way.
Yeah.
Aww.
It isn't that bad in hindsight. It's not that bad.
It's not so great, though. Can you please share with this audience your Dracula story? Because I'm obsessed.
Oh my gosh. I was in a production of Dracula when I was in high school, directed by my friend Jane Baker, who's a theater teacher, I believe still up in Vermont. And I played Van Helsing, of course. And it was the singularly least successful production of Dracula that's ever been mounted. We did it over 2 nights. So many things happened. The set caught on fire a little bit. We had a flash pot go off, and the set, the foam fake stone caught on fire for a little bit. And then my dad stood up in the audience and was like, quiet, because he was very safety oriented. He had like a flying bat that was supposed to come down and go across this stage, and it got stuck, and the rubber bat was just dangling the whole time. There was
a bat, not a baseball bat.
No, like a bat, like for Dracula.
I'm losing the thread.
There was Dracula was supposed to throw, like it was a thrust stage too, with audience on both sides, about 1% full. It's a 3,000 seat house with like 200. And the kid who was playing Dracula was this kid named John Doyle, who was really like cool looking kid, looked like Bon Jovi, and was a good singer. So, and he was playing Dracula, and so he wasn't particularly an athlete. So he supposed to throw some kind of prop. Dracula comes in and sees a mirror, and then like throws this thing and smashes the mirror. But it was a thrust thing, so it just went. And he wasn't, he was an actor. He wasn't an athlete, and he just missed it by like 2 feet. So we just had to kind of keep going as if he had smashed the mirror. And then like a full minute later, in full view of the audience, a techie kid just came out from behind with a hammer and just smashed the mirror and was like, "I'm really helping." And there was like more things though.
Wait, the little kid.
Oh yeah. So yeah. And then also, okay. So in Act 2, also Van Helsing has like a really long speech about, somebody says, "Professor, what is a vampire?" And I had this long speech like, "A vampire is a man or a woman," blah, blah, like The Walking Dead, blah, blah, something. And I give this like full page speech, and the other kid in the play wasn't listening and kind of forgot where he was. And after I finished the whole speech, he turned to me and goes, "But Professor, what is a vampire?" And gave me the same cue again. We just like kept pushing through it.
I hope you did the whole speech again.
I don't know. No. And then I think like the tech guys also, like the fog machine kept getting messed up, and like the same guys that kept being like stepping up in full view and like a fake bay window, like fogging into the room. And then we got to Act 2, triumphant moment. Van Helsing is killing Dracula with a wooden spike downstage center. And I'm pushing through, I'm committing really hard, and I start to hear laughter, and I think, well, this can't be good. And I looked up, and a toddler had walked onto the stage. Toddler, I want to say like with a blanket, that standing like on the stage with me, like looking over me killing Dracula. And I thought, wow, this is not scary. If a toddler wants to come toward you, like usually you can't get a toddler on the stage when you're trying to get a volunteer. So that production will live in infamy.
It's so funny. I have another
theater stories.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, for my little podcast, I have one more photo you sent in. What is this photo?
I'm just being a little sassy. I feel like I was on the yearbook committee, so I probably chose that picture of myself being like, again, I was like, I'm really starting to look pretty good.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. You know how much we are, to use Seth's word, obsessed with the theme song to 30 Rock. How do you go about doing that, and can you play it for us?
Yeah, how do you create it? Well, yeah, bring the laptop to the piano. Would you mind?
Oh, no, we can do it.
No, we could go over there.
Okay.
How do you do it? I don't know if I can. It's an orchestral piece. I'll just sing it.
You can lay it in later.
Let's go over to the piano.
Right.
We'll do it in post. Even though it's a live video.
That's it. We'll do it in post. Okay.
They don't do theme songs. We'll do it in post. When you're writing a theme song for a TV show, you're just trying to find what is the actual, essence or character of what's going on, what's going to hook people. And as Lauren always said, and this was back in the days when people would watch, there was only, a few channels on. You'd go, you want to hear the theme from the kitchen and know your show is on television. So you want to have it hooky enough to, the people would hear that and go on. So with 30 Rock, it was just kind of frenetic, and it wanted to sound like New York. So I just wanted to keep very like Gershwin-esque chords, which was only like 3 or 4. He really has more like 6 or 7. I don't know why you're saying that, but and so for that, it was just, Oh, and you thought you had enough, but then it just does the same thing. So it's like that, but when you put it with dum dum bum ba da dum bum bum ba da da dum ba da dum ba da dum bum bum ba da dum ba dum bum 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 ba ba dum a change. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum. It's the same thing. The cue to a theme song is 2 bars over and over and over and over again. And then people, ow!
How long is a theme song these days on broadcast TV is like 12 seconds at the most, right?
At the most. It's hard to write. It used to be easier to write a theme song because you could write a song, it'd be a thing, and hold together. And over the years, as the advertisers keep taking more of the show away, the real estate for a theme song gets shorter and shorter. And I think I don't even remember what the Great News theme song was, but it was like, bling, bing. It's like, smile. And that's where you're at now. And they're actually, the shorter they become, the harder they are, because you're trying to make a signature. You're trying to write a sentence, and it just gets down to being like an initial of some sort. Bing, bing.
What's your favorite 70s TV theme song?
Oh, that's a good one. You know what I really like a lot, and I don't think I can play it, is that I think it was the Scarecrow and Mrs. King theme song. It was like a march, kind of thing.
I was gonna play, hold on. The one I remember is this is life we want to get to go and have.
I always like Welcome Back, Cotter. That was a good one.
Welcome back. Yep, I don't got it.
Jeff also you wrote another theme song. When does Paula's show come out?
Oh, Paula Pell on.
I love her.
Right.
Oh my God, she has your new favorite show. She and John Lutz have a new show coming out whenever Quibi comes out called The Mapleworth Murders, and it's.
I saw that. Wait, describe it. It looks amazing.
Bananas and great.
It is. It's just a new take on like a Murder, She Wrote. It's Paula plays this lady who may or may not be a lesbian in this small town.
She's definitely a lesbian.
Where there are way too many murders in the small town. This is like murders all over, and there's like way too many cemeteries, and there's always jokes about is it the north? Is it the North Elm West cemetery? No, it's the East. Well, anyway, it's just a lot of people that you're familiar with seeing.
If you ever wanted a filthy Murder, She Wrote parody, like Maya Rudolph is on it, J.B. Smoove, Fred Armisen, Andy Samberg. It's crazy.
And the other thing about it is that it was the most fun. Right, there's a lot of music in it. It scored a lot because it wants to sound like a 70s mystery and 80s kind of a television mystery. And I had the most fun just writing the music for it. So
play some of the theme.
Oh, I can't. I'll get it up. I have to find it. But I will pull something together. We didn't plan this part at all.
Actually, we rehearsed this yesterday for like an hour and a half.
No. You want to talk about Kimmy theme?
No. Yes.
What about that one?
That's a good one.
That's all it is over. And then it was Unbreakable.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically that's another one where, you just need this 2-bar hook and it goes over and over. But the great thing about that one was Robert and Tina knew before they even wrote the series, they knew what the theme song was going to be because they wanted to be one of those Gregory Brothers songify in the style of what's the one that we always
like Ain't Nobody Got Time for That.
Ain't Nobody Got Time for That.
Like,
yes.
Right.
So we knew that much, but that song I think is a song for our times. Right now.
It is. And so we had to reverse engineer it to make you had to write a monologue of what this guy was going to say and then break it apart and then piece it together to be retuned to be a song. And I just remember that being
it's really hard to do that.
Hard to do that.
To the technology of making make the melody that you want to do.
Yeah, the Gregory brothers are great. Evan and Gregory, all those guys, they're so good.
Well, we've told
coffee at the table. What we've been here.
We've told you both that there are only a few shows that we as a family all watch together, and Kimmy Schmidt was one of them. So we want to bring on, even though she's upstairs, our daughter, Julie. She's right here.
Yes.
So.
Who loves
Julie.
So your former babysitter, Julie's upstairs. Hi, Jules.
Hi, guys. Hey, guys. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? I wish you were here to do my makeup, Julie. I'm not going to lie.
I just put some gems on my eyes just for fun.
Nice.
So good. So Tina and Jeff, Dr. LaPoop is going to be here later. Thinks it's really important to keep in touch with friends because we're also isolated. So every day we try to bring on friends. So Julie, would you bring on Tina and Jeff's first friend that's going to come visit? One of your close friends you FaceTime with all the time?
Yeah, this is actually my godmother, my favorite person in the world, Andréa Martin.
Say
Oh.
Hi, Andréa. How are you?
Look at what a beautiful square of people.
Nice to meet you,
We're the
people.
Brady Bunch.
Hey, Red, how's it going? Wow, I wish I didn't have to see the hair. Okay. Hi, Teddy.
We got one more.
Teddy.
Oh,
Andréa, how are you? You're in Canada?
I am. I'm in Toronto. Yep, my little home.
You know, we talked to Andréa a little bit over Zoom the other day because we did this thing. It was hilarious.
That was amazing. No, really.
A bi-coastal kids talent show with a bunch of our friends and their kids. And Andréa watched because what else are you going to do?
What else are you going to do?
Right? So, anyway,
People are just going to start broadcasting things like this from their home.
the first
It was so beautiful because the kids are oblivious to any. The kids are oblivious, of course, to any kind of ongoing anxiety and panic, which at every second during the day I'm just trying to suppress. And they're, oblivious. And so they did. It was Amy Poehler's kids and Maya Rudolph's and Rachel Dratch and Anna Gasteyer and Tina's little girl Penelope, and they did a talent show from all parts of the country. It was so moving and so funny. It brought so much joy. So, are you going to do it again?
I hope so. It's something also I feel like I would love if other people. It was pretty easy to do if you have the Zoom app, or you could probably do it with Google Hangouts. And the thing that was, good about it, we're all with our kids all the time now, is it took up a lot of time because said like, okay, days before, like you got to figure out what your act is going to be, guys, and maybe you have to practice it, and then you have to, and so it killed a lot of time, and then a non-screen way, even though give them all the screens they want, guys.
I was going to say, all right, Julie, I'm seeing you. Julie, you'll be back later. Peace out from you. Bye, guys.
Bye, Julie.
Oh, bye, Julie. Oh, okay. I thought Jeff.
Bye, Julie. Bye, Julie.
Yes.
hey, I'm back.
It's a very shot. It looks like a shot from Marriage Story. When they had Scarlett Johansson with just a black backdrop.
I keep thinking that I all these new Zoom calls and stuff we're doing, I feel like I look terrible, but I'm excited. But that by the end of this quarantine, everyone in Hollywood's gonna look like this.
Exactly.
Everyone's Botox is gonna wear off, and
everyone's
happen.
What's gonna wear off?
Everyone's
Botox
is gonna wear off, and it's gonna be like the day that Hollywood melted.
Oh, Botox. Oh, well, here's what I'm concerned about. The crazy, who's going to do my roots?
Yeah.
That's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, good point.
Okay, show people. I was talking with Tina about how we both grew up obsessed with SCTV. Jeff, were you an SCTV person?
Of course I was.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So, Andréa, is there anything you would like to share with us? Because I was an SCTV fanatic.
What? In terms of the 7 years we were on the air?
In terms of actually doing an effing character for us.
Oh, doing a character for you.
What are you going to give us?
I beg of you.
A little Edna Boyle? What do you got?
The little Edna Boyle. If
I do Edna Boyle, will you do text? Do you know how to do dum da da dum 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 da 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 on the piano? And every time you say, that's right.
One of many people here could do that.
My name is Edna Boyle. I'm texting Edna Boyle. We're getting them for you. We're shutting down. That's right. Because of COVID-19. So come on now. Not now. Texas in self-isolation, which he has been for 37 years. And I'm off to my home in Antarctica. So come on down. When we reopen, stay healthy. Isn't that right, Tex?
That's right, Edna.
Frame with you.
Oh, well,
You still got it. Andrea, we're going to bring you back. We've got to bring on our chief medical correspondent. If you guys have any questions, feel free to come back and ask. But By the way, why is your homeland Antarctica? Why is Edna Boyd from Antarctica?
Because isn't that the only place that doesn't have coronavirus?
It-
I have to explain my comedy?
Okay, I'll get back to you. You'll be back. Okay, Tina and Jeff, I'm going to bring in Dr. John LaPook, and I'll bring you back if you guys have any questions. Please welcome Chief Medical Correspondent for Stars in the House and CBS, Dr. John LaPook.
Hi, Tina, Jeff.
Hi.
How are you guys?
I'm doing well, thank you. Did you say you're an investor in Mean Girls Broadway?
Oh my God, that was just for you. So the truth is, yeah, we were investors because totally believe that message. I know that sounds corny, and if there ever was a message for now, it's to be kind to each other. At a time when we're physically separating, we have to be emotionally connected. And I mean, that's what that, to me, that really is a very moving script to me.
Thank you.
And a brief one.
Well, thank you. We'll
That's
let you
great.
answer medical questions now.
We were tiny investors, like, 3 inches tall.
Take it.
Okay,
So
so
Dr.
focus on the medicine, please.
So, Dr. LaPook, you and I spoke a little while ago, and there was a certain call to action that you wanted everyone watching to take. Can you explain?
Yeah, actually, there's 2 of them. One is we have to remember that yesterday at the White House conference, we were told, I know the instinct, which is to leave Gotham, get out of Dodge. But they're saying, look, we don't want to be seeding the country. So people in New York, especially the New York metropolitan area, if you're going to other places, they're asking us to self-quarantine for 14 days. And I know that's tough, but it's really an important idea. We have to make sure that we're not selfish about that. The other call to action, and I just was on radio at Washington, D.C. radio station trying to light a fire under this. We're all talking about these tests for the PCR for the nasal swab to see if you have the infection right now. What we are desperate for is the antibody test, the blood test, to see if you've been exposed before and if you potentially have immunity. I spoke to a professor of microbiology at Mount Sinai yesterday. He said they're actually whipping up the test. They've only done a small number of them. There are a handful of labs across the country that are doing it, but they can ramp up if they have, cut the FDA red tape and get the funding and have the will. I'm going to say this every single time I have a chance. And the reason why it's so important is once we know who's immune, those people are probably protected and can go back to the front lines. And it also will tell us how widely spread this is, the community spread. But think about it. You could get tested, say, I had a sniffles or a little mild symptoms. I thought I had a cold last month. I'm now immune. And you can go out there and help relieve other people in whatever job you're doing. So we're talking about having to make the choice between saving people from COVID and saving our economy. You can do both, but we need to light a fire under all the powers that be to make this test widely available. It's not brain surgery. The scientist said literally that term to me. Every year, millions of women get the MMR test before they're pregnant, before they become pregnant, because you don't want to have German measles, rubella during pregnancy. And of course, you can't be a healthcare worker and be in a hospital and not be immune to measles. You don't want to spread that. So it's an easy test to do. You can ramp it up. So that's my big sort of call to arms, that like call the FDA, email the FDA, call your representative. We have to light a fire under everybody who could possibly have any power over this.
So Dr. John LaPook, that was just my one quick question. My friend's daughter, positive, she had COVID-19, and I said, oh, that's so great. Now she's immune. And he was like, is she? So once you've had it, you are immune, or 99% we think you are?
99%, because again, the thing about this is it's a new type of virus, which we haven't seen before. But if it follows the rule of science of almost every other virus that we've seen, once you get infected, you're going to be immune probably for a few years, and it could be longer than that. So that's one of the reasons why we need this test, this blood test, so she could say, well, is she immune? Or is it that she had some symptoms from something else? And one last thing, which is, remember yesterday we were talking about how loss of smell and taste can be a symptom? Well, right after I talked about that on CBS this morning, later that afternoon, one of the Anthony Mason, one of the co-anchors, called me and said that there was somebody in his immediate sphere who had that symptom. And therefore, he's out of an abundance of caution, the new expression, he is now in self-quarantine. So, that can be the only symptom. So, and you can be we think you can be shedding virus and perhaps infecting somebody else. So he was very responsible, good for him. And he said, of course he wanted to be in the Ed Sullivan Theater along with Gail King and Tony DeCoppel, but he's home. And that's how we all have to think.
So Dr. LaPook, just to be clear, there's no guarantee that this antibody test will be available unless we need to contact our senators, our U.S. reps, right? We have to put pressure to make sure that this becomes readily available as soon as possible.
I think that's true because right now there are so many different priorities. So it's great to hear today, for example, that PPE, personal protective equipment, is a little bit more available in New York State. We still have a huge shortage of ventilators. So there's all different fires being lit under different people and different corporations. And I'm afraid that this one's being put too low on the burner when it should be right up at the top. I can't tell you how important this is. Once we know if you're immune, you should be protected. You should be able to go out on the front lines.
We're going to bring on Andréa Martin, who would like to ask you a question. Hey, Andréa.
Hi, Andréa.
Hi, Dr. LaPook. Oh my gosh, my heart kind of stopped when you were talking about, and I wasn't 100% paying attention, so I need to hear it. Are you saying your taste buds and your sense of smell goes? My God, I've been like that all week, and I've been saying to my sister, I don't know what's going on. I can't taste food the way I used to. Everything has a different taste. My smell is off. It was, and I wondered if it was something I was taking and just coldies, nothing. Is that definitely a symptom of this?
So it can be a symptom of it. And I just spoke to somebody literally this morning, one of my patients, who talked about, it wasn't even loss. It was like, she was saying, it just tasted funny. It tasted like my insides were coming. She really said that, like my insides were coming. It was just a taste. Now you can have a bad taste from medicines like Flagyl, certainly from various medications that you take, and there are other things that cause it. But we know from past respiratory illnesses that can happen. You can actually have either a loss of sense of smell, which of course you need for taste, or it can be changed. So that means I'm not making a diagnosis over the phone and all that stuff, but we can talk offline. But you should talk to your healthcare provider about what you should do now. And you're already in self-quarantine, I'm probably guessing.
I am for sure, but does that mean that was just a mild symptom, or I now have to expect other things?
Well, I'll tell you, we have had people who that's the only symptom that they have. It can be a prodrome, and then later you can get the cough and the fever and all that. So just be on alert for it. But you don't have any of the others. Again, I always am hesitant to go, and we're not.
No, I mean, I would never ask you these real personal questions, but literally I've been saying to my sister and my good friend, I don't know I can't taste things the way I used to, no matter how much salt or whatever I put in. I don't have the same, everything tastes different, weird, dull, or everything kind of tastes the same. So maybe, I'm sorry to bring it up.
No. Once we're able to see doctors again electively, you should, go to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, your regular doctor, to evaluate, is there some other cause for it? But I think that it's so great that you brought that up, because people don't know that, and you could be infectious without knowing it. We know that you can have a lot of this viral titer in your nose and the back of your throat and spread it. And the other thing that we've learned in the last week or two is that you can have just diarrhea for a couple of days as a prodrome. So you have that, be on the alert. I think we have to be overly cautious now, and there's no downside. We're all kind of self-quarantining anyway. And again, not to be too graphic, but after you go to the bathroom, you have to really, truly wash your hands for 20 seconds, including the tip of your fingers and your knuckles and your hands, because you can shed virus in your stool. We found that it can actually last longer than the nasal virus. So really wash your hands.
Thank you, Andréa. We'll talk soon. You stand by. Dr. LaPook, you had sent me this amazing video. Do you want to just do that real quick before we go back to Tina and Jeff?
Yeah, I've been trying to get people. I have a thing called the Empathy Project. If people go to empathyproject.com, it's this project why I came over from Columbia to NYU Langone. It was using Hollywood quality short films to help teach clinicians in training to be more empathetic, sensitive, and confident, and to empower patients to demand that. If you go to empathyproject.com, you'll see why. So I'm trying to get people, especially people who are well known, but anybody, to send me a 60 to 90 second clip that just is saying thank you, starts off, thank you to healthcare workers. Right. Believe me, they need it. I was speaking this morning to a bunch. They're at the breaking point psychologically. They really are. It's very tough, very tough. There was one person, a nurse in Seattle, who was just who told a friend of mine that she was recording. Oh, this breaks my heart. She was recording bedtime stories because she wasn't sure she was going to survive. She was afraid she wasn't going to survive, so she wanted her child to be able to have bedtime stories from her. So anyway, this couple who I think you'll know decided to go out and make their video, and they sent it to me, and we posted it. But I would urge people to, if you can have 60 to 90 seconds, it could be that message of thanks followed by entertainment, a poignant message, a funny message. Just use your imagination, and they know how to get it to you, and that you can get it to me.
All right, so here's the first video.
Hey there, this is going out to the hospital at NYU.
Every single person at that hospital.
All the ER doctors on the front lines, the nurses, the support staff, every single person under the roof at those hospitals that are creating and making such gigantic sacrifices for...
Wait, is the video playing crazy or is it my imagination?
It's playing right.
It is. Okay. My Wi-Fi is weird. I'm going to start it again.
Yeah.
Hey there, this is going out to the hospital at NYU.
Every single person at that hospital.
All the ER doctors on the front lines, the nurses, the support staff, every single person under the roof at those hospitals that are creating and making such gigantic sacrifices for the greater good, and every single citizen in New York right now. We are just in absolute awe of everything that you're doing.
And this is, we know when uncertain times it is for everybody, but for you guys especially.
Don't hear you.
Especially,
what about
I can imagine this time is full of so much emotion, and we just want you to know that
there's something with our computer where the videos aren't working.
I'm seeing it fine.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, you can. I think we're all seeing it fine.
Okay, I'm gonna literally. You know what? This show, we're live. We're gonna do the whole thing from the beginning so we can appreciate it.
Hey there, this is going out to the hospital at NYU.
Every single person at that hospital.
All the ER doctors on the front lines, the nurses, the support staff, every single person under the roof at those hospitals that are creating and making such gigantic sacrifices for the greater good, and every single citizen in New York right now. We are just in absolute awe of everything that you're doing.
And this is, we know when uncertain times it is for everybody, but for you guys especially.
And on that note, okay, there's something. Hold on, wait. Tina's texting me. Okay.
Yeah. There's the charm, I'm told.
Yeah. There's something. Yeah, there's just something with our Wi-Fi that's just not working. Dr. LePlugue, we're going to bring you back tonight. We're going to show the video much better.
And we will show the whole thing. We'll figure it out.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to figure it out. I don't know what's going on today.
It's too important, and we need to do it properly tonight.
It's really important, and it's really funny. And by the way, Kay Alice Settle, the bearded lady from The Greatest Showman, just sent me a video right now to send to you to send to them.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, everybody who does that. It means the world to these healthcare workers. They need your support.
We're going to do it.
We're cool.
Tina, will you make a video?
I just read this about one of the symptoms of coronavirus is not being able to hear a audio stream from videos.
Jeff Richmond.
Yes, I
listen,
swear.
I'm going to say something. I think the hand washing thing is a hoax, and I'm not doing it.
Oh my God!
Look what's happening.
Yeah.
With this hand.
You know that dinner?
Sorry, Dr. John. Sorry, Dr. John.
That dinner invitation we're going to eat at a restaurant. Is that okay? Not at your house?
Amazed that people still need this much instruction. I'm like, do you not know how to wash your hands?
I can't.
I actually wrote, this is a real backdoor brag because I happen to have his email. I wrote an email to Alan Alda because I happen to have it from years ago when he was on 30 Rock. And I was like, I think of you every day because every time I see one of these how to wash your hands things, I'm like, didn't everybody watch him on MASH? I just remember Hawkeye scrubbing up on MASH. I'm like, we know this, right? Everybody go watch MASH. Mostly that was a story for me to tell you that I have Alan all the time.
You know, it's not that impressive. Okay.
It's very impressive.
It's fine. Okay, so like I said, I just want to make sure I'm going in the right order.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, we like to bring. I wanted to say one thing. So we had a really, really fun game night.
And by the way, Jeff and Tina, is this a good time to like a few since they're matching?
Yeah,
up to $1,200. Up to $1,200.
Well, these are okay. So the last one may give you, a pause here, but it's all for the Actors Fund. Yeah. So Sandra from Ontario,
they're matching. Tina and Jeff are matching everything.
$25. Sharon from New York gave $75. Marnie from Illinois, $25. Maria from New York, $20. Robin from Maryland, $25. Connie from New York, $50. Philip from Illinois, $50. And you're in trouble, guys, because from Ireland, Rachel donated $600.
Yay, Rachel! Let's hope the conversion rate is in our favor.
Such a good brain. You're a smarty pants. Okay, so we had a little game night at our house. I'm going to show you a picture of this.
We live across the street from you guys. People should know that.
People should know that.
Oh my God, let me tell you that part of the story. Hold on, we forgot to say that.
Sure.
So we're upstate right now, as you can see our little house. And James and I, we decided we really need to get some final things from our apartment in New York. So we're like, we're just gonna, we're gonna go back to New York. We're gonna be really, really safe.
This was a week ago.
And like we really prepared for the car ride, like gloves, Lysol, everything, mask. Drove into the city. It's like an hour and 10 minutes from our house. Parked the car. I'm like, I'm gonna go upstairs, be super safe. P.S. I forgot my keys. Give me your keys. And James is like, I don't have the keys. So it was an unfunny episode of I Love Lucy. And we just driven so far. And then I was like, oh my God, Tina Fey and Jeff Richmond have our keys. What's amazing is that I went to their house and Tina, talk about your amazing social distancing with the keys.
First of all, the miracle was Seth texted me and was like, do you have the keys that I left? Like they left the extra set with us. And I was like, oh God, the chances of me finding something in my house that I'm supposed to know where it is. And I found it immediately. It was exactly where I thought it would be, which I think many people can attest to never happens. And then I went downstairs, and for some reason, we were keeping our distance across the lobby. Why I did this, I don't know what my thing was. Instead of like throwing them to you, I slid them across the floor, and I was like,
picked up the Corona, the entire floor. Oh, but anyway, I was very. But we had a full conversation in the lobby from 6 feet apart, and it can be done.
It can be done. I think we were even like 12 feet apart. Yeah. I'm sorry I slid them at you, but I was very proud of myself that I
feel fine. Can't smell anything. Okay, anyway, we had this game. I'm doing dark humor because of you. So we had a game night. That's us. So we were playing this game called Catchphrase.
Yes.
Kind of like Celebrity. Describe.
Yeah, it's like Celebrity, but it comes on a little built-in robot thing. And am I in the middle? Why can't I figure this out? Okay. And it gives you different clues, and then you play it like Celebrity. You have to give clues to make the other person guess. And it was you guys, a bunch of your friends, and Jane Krakowski was there, who, by the way, I guarantee you, are you going to do one of these with Jane?
Of course.
She's somehow still going to look like Jane. Like, she's going to be so glamorous when you get there. And she did. She was like all glamorous. And then one of the clues that came up in Celebrity was Marissa Jarrett Winokur, the woman who starred in Hairspray originally. And Jane was kind of kidding on the square. People got it. People were like, oh yeah, from Hairspray, Marissa Jarrett Winokur. And then Jane was kind of kidding on the square, being like, well, her name is in the game. And what about my name? And I was like, oh, God.
Hold on a second, Tina. I don't quite know if she was joking or not.
Putting on the square. Who looks like Jane?
Damn it. Do I still look like Jane in quarantine?
God, I look like the lighting double for Tootsie, and you look like Jane. So Jane, kidding on the square, meaning like kidding, but also serious. You're like, oh, Marissa's
hurt a little bit inside. I'm not gonna lie. The competitive spirit hurt a little bit.
And we're all
playing games and having fun.
Guys, we're gonna have to keep playing this game until this machine gives us Jane's name, or we can't go home.
So by the way, so Tina Fey, you wound up teaming up. Just FYI, it was just when the whole thing began, it was like midnight at this point, and Tina's like, she goes, just so you know, she goes, once I'm out of this game, because it's hot with her, because once I'm out, I'm getting in my coat and I'm leaving. Well, it wound up, everyone kept getting out except for Tina, and it wound up being a face-off. By the way, Jane was still in a fury. She had not been mentioned. It was
the battery-operated device was not generating her name.
It was like, key grips were being mentioned, like literally like just staff. And Jane was like, yes. So finally, you wound up in a face-off with my good pal, Mr. Aaron Dye, who's here.
Hey, how are you?
How you
And
doing?
now, first of all, Aaron, what did you think when you were in the final round with just Tina?
Well, to begin with, I didn't even really want to be in the game because it's just one of those just really stressful games where you're just passing this device around and it's just a matter of luck or bad luck. And I was just like, I'm tired. It's like 11:30, 45. I'll just sit and watch. And I just kept on not being like kicked out of the game. And then finally it was me and Tina, and I'm just like, okay, I guess Tina's gonna win, right? And then the party is over. And then so what? I don't know if people understand how the game works, but you get these clues and you're trying to guess. Get everyone else to guess the clue before you can pass it on to the next person. And then there's a clock ticking, and it gets faster and faster as it approaches the buzzing. And then I think Tina got like Reader's Digest or something like that.
Yes.
Right before, and it was going beep, 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 beep at that time. And like any second it was going to go off. And she just kind of like throws it at me and like, I'm safe. And I was just like, well, the only way I could possibly like get it back to her is if I get a really simple clue. And the clue that came up was Tina Fey. And so I just went, you.
You have video of it?
And everyone screamed Tina Fey, and
The best was that you
everyone
just
won.
meant,
Everyone
that you
won.
just meant you.
Yeah.
It was literally, it was the most amazing time. It was, first of all, Jane's worst nightmare.
I have to say, I am so excited that had happened because I felt so proud of my friend. I couldn't believe that she had made the catchphrase.
Tina made it.
You made it, T.
I think, let me see if this actually works, because as we know, sometimes videos don't work. I'm going to see if I have this, if it's going to work.
Don LaPook said something to
One of our
us,
favorites.
and it was the most comforting thing I've heard. He said,
Oh, wait, where is it then? Is this it?
Hello, Kitty. Why am I?
"Yeah, why?"
It's going to work. I'm going to show it. Okay, so I'm gonna take it off the screen and we're going to watch it. Let's see if it's going to work.
Okay.
We're nervous about anything
We're
today,
nervous.
technically.
Okay, so I'm going to take this off.
They're gone. It's just the three of us.
It's down to two.
All right.
Hello, Kitty.
Why am I?
Yeah, why?
R&B artist. The middle name is opposite of hot.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hello, Cool J.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the thing old people read, a little square, small magazine.
Reader's Digest.
You.
Tina Fey!
What are we
Good.
That's the end of a game night ever.
It was so fun. Okay, so,
What are
Aaron,
the chances?
so Aaron, I'm going to bring you back because you're an amazing classical musician. So you're going to come back in another show. You're going to play something. So peace out to you.
Nice to see you.
Bye, Aaron.
Oh, Aaron.
Bye, Aaron. And then, of course, so Tina Fey, tell everybody who Jane has played on both of your shows.
Jane played a monster named Jenna Maroney on 30 Rock, which I don't know if you've seen these tweets, Jane, but people are tweeting like, oh my gosh, if this would be such a good 30 Rock story because Jenna would have been so mad that she
would have been so mad. But we're nothing alike. Our characters are nothing alike.
No, and she would have lied and said that she tested positive for the attention. And then in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, she played a woman named Jacqueline. What was your first married name? Jacqueline
Voorhees.
Who was not an actress, but was a woman of privilege who kind of learns to have empathy. And the hardest thing with Kimmy was there were just years where I'd be like, no, we're not allowed to make Jane sing.
Which was so hard for me because Jeff wrote such amazing music for Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and those songs and the videos were so incredible.
Oh, thanks.
Eventually, we did make these things.
Yeah, eventually.
In some way, we justified to ourselves, right?
Oh yeah. I sang the theme song within within the show, right?
Little girl,
But unbilled, an unbilled
Big city.
vocal.
Jim, would you do me a favor? Would you just stand up and give us the move you did for my favorite lyric? You're weirding me out.
You're weirding me out.
Do you remember the dance you did?
No, it was something like weirding me
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, that was it.
I can't remember.
It's so funny. Okay, James, what do you want?
So
Everyone knows the most delicious part of the muffin. Oh.
You.
Set it up right now.
Homemade, guys. Homemade.
you did not do 30 Rock and Kimmy Schmidt by yourself, though. So who's the person that you is probably the most important, like maybe producer, creator with?
Well, Robert Carlock.
Robert Carlock.
Well, it just so happens he's here with us.
No, that's me. That's me, guys. That's me.
No, because we all have fake names.
Well, there goes that surprise. There he is.
There he is.
The man himself.
I'm sorry. Everyone has a fake name.
We're doing the tech work.
Carlock.
Mikey's coming up next. No way. Hi, Carlock.
Hi, how are you, Jamie?
I'm good. Corona-free so far.
Oh my God. Miss Last Name. I love it.
What do you said you were writing something. By the way, just James, tell everybody how we see Robert's name every single night.
So we have been for a while now. We go to bed and watch.
On nights where you don't have game nights that I'm not invited to.
Oh, I knew there's gonna be some angry people out there. Okay, sorry about that. It was just friends and family. Oh wait, you go on.
Right.
Sorry,
but every night we watch Friends, and we noticed like around season 7 or 8, we saw a certain name popping
We
up.
got so excited to see you.
And so now every night, that's what we look forward to, is seeing you in the credits, because now we're on season 9, where you went from actor to writer to co-producer, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Did you
co-producer in 10? Did we do 10? Sorry, what? I did that right before 30 Rock. Yeah. Yeah. That was
Tina hook up.
Sorry?
How did you and Tina hook up? Because it wasn't through friends.
Right. No, we were at SNL together starting in 1996 or something.
97, yeah. And produced Weekend Update the first.
And then when Tina and Jimmy started doing Weekend Update, I did the first season of that, and then couldn't take any more. No, which was awesome. I just wanted to go tell stories and stuff, and so I thought I was going to move to LA until Tina called and made my career happen with 30 Rock. Yes, so we worked together. I mean, Weekend Update was kind of intense. It's those weeks. You don't work a lot of weeks, but they're intense and they're late nights, and you want it to be good. That was where we really worked together for the first time. So.
We're still doing stuff together. Robert and I should have been on Zoom working in the writer's room with him today, but we're getting ready to do this. And he's probably wondering why I was able to comb my hair today.
Your hair always looks great. It is a woman's crowning glory, as we know.
Carla, do you have a Jeff or a Tina story you'd like to share with our viewers that maybe not everybody knows?
Oh my goodness. Well, you were talking earlier about voice coaching. I was there for one of those sessions. It was the end of, was that season 1 with the Cleveland
song?
And it was the end of the, and I don't want to talk about how hard we work all the time, but these are long seasons, and I never get to go to the mixes, which I love to do because I love watching what Jeff does, and they were going to have, I think you had a bunch of musicians in for that, and I was like, oh, I'm finally done with the writing, and the editing is almost done, I'll go to a mix. And Tina's going to be singing this song that's great about Cleveland with Boggess. And it was the most that company documentary kind of thing.
Here's what I was supposed to sing. New York and Paris just don't have the sights you see on Euclid Ave.
It was not having it.
It's a rangy and tricky song, about Cleveland, which makes sense because
Cleveland's a rangy
city,
rangy, tricky place.
But I thought Jeff might accommodate her. No.
I got this one. Look at
it. That's great.
Elaine.
Married in that.
30 years, Tina.
She was wearing in that coat and she charged the production.
Okay, wait, Jake Krakowski, do you have any like line from as Jenna that you're like that you just beyond love saying because it's so brilliant? Of course, I'm always obsessed with actor announcements. It's just so funny, but everybody cares. But anyway, what was your favorite line?
Nobody cares. There's so many. That's what's so hard. Some have become like T-shirts, like "Hello, is it hello? Five's the tennis speaking," or "Listen up, Five's the tennis speaking." Yeah. So some have become really well known. I'm trying to think of which ones.
I have a couple. I like when Jack Donaghy said to you, Jenna, I'm gonna Tupac you, and you said, okay, but I have to pee first.
I also like when I said I made my own porno video, and as you're doing, you can see that they're robbing me. If you have,
you look really close, you can see it. It's night vision, but if you look really close, you can see the guys.
They're robbing me.
That your high school stank.
Yeah, the boat I was educated on.
The boat I was educated.
That just says it all, really. The boat I was educated on sank.
When you're pretending to give Tracy a Pacific Rim Emmy to make him feel better, and so she'd get up in the middle of the night and come to a fake ceremony, and she goes, I had to get up at 2 a.m, go home.
I love you guys.
Wait, do you remember the name of the acting school you went to? I'm obsessed with it.
Oh, Tina will say it because it's very long, isn't it?
It's the Royal Tampa Academy of Dramatic Tricks.
That's so funny. Okay, so hold on. So wait, I want to make sure we're going in the right. Oh yeah. So listen. By the way, comments, people. By the end of the show, Tina said she would do AMA, Ask Me Anything. So in the comments, feel free to put in some Ask Me Anythings, and she will do it. And don't forget to donate because Tina and Jeff are matching it. So let's get those happy donations.
Wait a minute. This is really good. Okay, Jeff and Tina. Okay, so we usually get 3 batches. So the third batch, I won't know, but this is like the last one I'll announce.
And it's just smattering of batches.
Just a little bit.
It's not everybody.
So you're in trouble. Jenna from New Jersey, $100. Thank you so much for giving to the Actors Fund. Caitlin from New York, $25. Catherine from Wisconsin, $25. Barbara from Washington, $50. Chuck from New York, $50. Leslie from Massachusetts, $35. And Glenn from Pennsylvania, $1,200.
Thank you, guys. Amazing.
Ouch.
Wow.
This will be great.
But all that said, just Actors Fund wanted us to say this. Truly, $5 is amazing. And if everyone gives $5, my gosh, the arts, this is really about making sure that the arts survive this because everyone is hurting. And we're talking about ballet. We can't say it enough. Ballet companies, symphonies, operas, professional theaters, regional theaters all over. All the theaters that, will be doing Mean Girls, and Disaster, none of them can run right now, and they have to have money to survive. And so some people have been giving, it's been great of reading the comments and the emails. They've been giving to both the Actors Fund and to their local theater. So we encourage you to do that. So that's my spiel for right now. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to talk so don't forget, Ask Me Anything for Tina Fey. I want to talk a little bit about the show that we all watch with the family. We're all obsessed with.
Yeah, so Julie's going to get in here.
And that's Kimmy Schmidt. Hey, Julie. So Kimmy Schmidt. So first, let me bring on one of the stars of Kimmy Schmidt. You're not going to believe he's here. Oh my God! It's Mike Carlson.
I'm so happy to see you guys. I miss you guys.
Hey, Mikey.
So Mike, I want to talk to you. So Mike plays Titus's boyfriend. I so love the finale of Kimmy Schmidt. We all were watching it together. I was so teary-eyed between you and Titus. What was it like for you when you read the script? Did you want it to work out between the two of you? What were you hoping for? What did you feel filming it go?
I think both of us were always hoping that it would work out between the two of us. I think we had a really, really special relationship. I remember that scene in the finale. I remember shooting outside the Lion King theater. It was actually Carousel that was playing at the time. And I just, everybody was on set that day, and you could just feel that, we all knew that we were doing something really special. And I'm just so proud to be part of this.
Okay, one of my favorite things on the show, who thought of the idea, because, your character's trying to be straight. Robert, Tina, who thought of the idea of what he paints on his car to sort of show that he's.
Not me. That's from the writers' room, right?
I think that was Sam Means. We were just trying to think of what would he do wrong to try to pass, and I think Sam Means, who's one of our great writers, came up with Tilda Swinton as his idea of a beautiful woman, but not construction worker back of the truck kind of lady.
He paints on his construction worker. It's such a hilarious idea. Okay, so Mike Carlson, we were going to bring Titus on. Titus can't do today, so we're going to bring you back for a special episode with Titus, okay?
I love it. Yeah, I would love it. Yeah. Hi. Am I leaving?
Mike, yes, you're piecing out.
Yes, bye, Mike.
Okay, and then I'm going to get rid of for just 2 seconds Jane and Carlock.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring you guys back, though. So I'm going to get rid of Jane and Carlock, and then I'm going to bring you back. So Jane, you'll come back. Carlock, you come back. Tina, I'm just doing this because you were so braggy, so name droppy about who you're emailing, and it's obnoxious. So we know you can email certain people, but we can do more than that. We can actually get rid of Jane and bring you back. So you'll come back. How's it come back? Yeah, I'm just doing this because you were so braggy, so name droppy about who you're emailing, and it's obnoxious. So we know you can email certain people, but we can do more than that. We can actually get rid of Jane and bring you back. So come back. How's it come back?
So can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm just doing this because you were so braggy. So hold on, Dr. We can do more than that. We can actually. Oh my God! Hold on, it's looping. Hold on, David's gonna help you. Bring it. Hold on. I've never heard my nasal voice more repetitive. What a horrible thing to hear.
David Katz is gonna help him, but so that's a surprise.
Yes,
he'll be back. Really, that surprise, Tina and Jeff, happened during the show. That's why it's so
right. Because I didn't tell anyone about my email.
I know it's all a surprise. Okay, so that's going to be fixed. Every surprise I'm doing
He'll be back, but there's another surprise.
Yes, we have one more surprise. So, well, let's talk about Kimmy Schmidt for a second. So let me bring on some of the Kimmy Schmidt folk. Okay, so hold on.
That's funny.
How do I do it? I go like this. Wait. How do I go this way? Okay, so
we have so many people.
Okay, so and Carla, so can you guys? I have a couple. Can you guys describe some of the stuff that's happening?
What?
And the Kimmy Schmidt movie.
Yeah, you want to do it, Bobby?
Yeah.
Start. Yeah, I'll do the boring part. It's I don't know if Netflix has this fairly new technology. They did it with Black Mirror. I don't know if you guys watched that show at all, where the shows are actually interactive. It's we're not allowed to say choose your own adventure, I guess, but it's pick your own journey. And you'll come to little moments where you have the choice for Titus to take a nap or go to the gym, and depending on what you do there, or for Kimmy to take Jane's character or Titus's character to Indiana with her, and depending on one of those choices, it's an absolute disaster, and you have to backtrack a little bit and then make the right choice. I think it's about 3+ hours of material at the end of the day if you watch the whole thing. I keep calling it Write the Movie because I think start to finish, if you do everything right, it's about an hour. And it's really cool because you get to do things like just murder everybody and then still have a happy ending.
So some of these crazy photos. So first of all, what's this? This is we're actually premiering some photos from the Kimmy Schmidt movie. I don't think I'm really allowed to do it, but
I don't know either, but it's a pandemic. Show the photos.
Absolutely.
Yukos, everyone who's seen the show knows that Yukos have kind of grown in population. They're sort of servant robots. Are they going to take over the world? If you make mistakes, they might. I don't know. Right?
Okay, so what about this crazy, this thing?
That's Jane's favorite costume ever. That's Kimmy's wedding, which is if you're trying to hopefully help her get to her wedding to the wonderful Daniel Radcliffe, who plays a character named Frederick in the show, who is like 13th in line for the British crown, feeling extra topical since Harry and Meghan split.
Prince Charles.
Oh God, Prince Charles. He's okay. So that's like a scene. If there's a certain path that'll lead you to that wedding and that wedding dress. There actually are 12 different weddings that you can get to.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now, by the way, just talk for 1 second. Talking about Prince. Of course, I love your book, Bossy Pants. I think I read it 3 times. Can you just talk about the Prince on 30 Rock and what you sort of thought was going to happen?
Gerhard Habsburg. Pee Wee Herman played a character called Gerhard Habsburg, who was like an Austrian prince, right? Okay, was it Habsburg ultimately? Did we change it? Gerhard something. and he had tiny doll hands, right, or one tiny doll hand. He was very
Ivory hand,
and Jenna, Jane's character, was trying to seduce him because she could be a princess. And ultimately, I think he ultimately dies during the episode from having one sip of champagne or something. But
yeah,
that was season 1 of 30 Rock, but we didn't know if we were gonna ever get picked up against. We were like, just do whatever we want.
Yeah, it's kind of like to say there was like we never jumped the shark because we started with the shark so far behind us.
He's inside.
Is that the episode where he goes?
We were inside a shark.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to try to bring back Alan Alda, then I'm going to finish. I'm going to do more Kimmy Schmidt after this. So,
I love Alan Alda.
So I'm clearing for talent, I have to mute my mic first for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to do more Kimmy Schmidt after this. So,
I love Alan Alda.
Hello, I'm here. Clearing for talent, I have to mute my mic first for a second.
Why is it that everybody seems to be talking at once?
Hey, it's working! Hello, I'm here. Clearing for talent, Forget it. Mute my mic first for a second. All right, you know what? We're going to bring you back.
We'll be back, and Tina Fey and Jeff will be back.
When we do it. So you're going to come back. Wait. I can't. You know what it is? It's literally like basically getting someone on this. We always have to have a tech rehearsal. It was too spontaneous. We were too big for our britches.
Well, listen, it's amazing. We're also so spoiled, but it generally works so well that we're like,
yeah.
But it's amazing. It works at all.
Furious when it doesn't. Okay, so can you tell me about what this is?
That is we refer to that as our Miller's Crossing moment. That's me and John Hamm. And, there is in certain past there, you have the opportunity to enact revenge. And the experience is called Kimmy versus the Reverend. So that is kind of a intense moment that you can possibly get to at the end.
Wow. So tell me about this photo and why this photo is going to look a little different.
Ellie was about 17 months pregnant when we shot this episode. And thank goodness she's the fittest, healthiest person ever. You could not even tell from behind. If it had been me, it would be a different deal. But Ellie's like very fit. And so that picture I think is not digital, like her belly, we've digitally flattened it in the final product. But
it was like one day it went from you couldn't notice anything to I think that day it was like, oh, now your belly button's sticking out through your shirt.
Our costume designer Tina Nigro did an amazing job.
Oh my god, yeah.
See in like all the wedding dresses and all the stuff.
Okay, so hold on. So there's an option that Ellie can kill the person who kidnapped her, right?
Yeah, she can kill him a bunch of different ways if you want to experience that, or she can spare him. There's always been kind of a moral compass within the show. It's about kindness over violence. It's about overcoming trauma, and so it lets you experience what choices you would make in that position if you had the chance to enact revenge.
What's the
jokes before then?
What's his name? What's the character? It's like a base Wayne Saint. What is it? Wayne what?
Reverend Richard Wayne Gary Wayne.
What is it? Richard Wayne Gary Wayne?
Yes.
And it's played by Mr. John Hamm.
Oh, Hamm.
This is
you've got your Karate Run hat and everything.
Yes, I do. Hi, kids.
I have the Corona. How can I get all these kids? Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hi, John.
John, where are you?
I'm in my office.
In LA?
Yeah. I'm drinking a glass of hot fat.
Okay, we got to discuss. I have a photo from Kimmy Schmidt. John, you're either an amazing dancer, incredibly fit, you are a Rockette. What is this?
Well, that is actually what this hat says. That is the Reverend attempting to escape Kimmy by running extra fast because he knows karate.
But how did you get that crazy pose? What is that? What is that?
That's real. It's just an athlete at work there.
Wow, that's just pure, limberness.
Not green screen.
Not green screen. We shot that in a tick-filled forest.
Yeah, John worked with us for like 3 days, did all this amazing stuff on 2 days on the movie, and I'm gonna keep calling it a movie. Sue me, you can't make me not call it a movie. And you know, came up and we're like, great, could you just get around and roll around on this forest floor? Thank you so much, old friend.
Everyone's so excited you're here. John Hamm, everyone is like commenting, John Hamm, this, John. But we said, ask anything to, what about this actually? I'm curious about this. This is a good question for you guys. What's your production process like for a Pick Your Own Journey movie? Right. How many different versions of scenes do you have to do?
Great question.
You go,
Robert Carla. Yeah, a lot. No, you're asking exactly the question. There would be versions of scenes that were sometimes 90% the same, except that someone was wearing a different outfit, and you'd have to kind of redo those shots, and there were scenes that would be fundamentally very different. Almost every scene, right, would have an alternate version, and then there were whole other alternate paths. You know, Jane's character has a choice at some point when she's trying to waste time on a movie set that Titus is supposed to be on, he hasn't shown up to, where she has to choose a problem that she has with what's going on, a pretend problem, and those just create completely different pathways. So it was both a fun challenge, and we realized, amazing script supervisor, this incredible challenge that she had, and when we wrapped, we realized we're missing one shot, and it was just this one pivotal shot that we had to go back and pick up. But the fact that we were only missing one is amazing. It's
also
so labor intensive.
Our editor, Carl Gilman, was amazing. Luckily, he had experience not only in editing, but in computer programming. So he could and it can if you watch the same scene, if you go back and you're watching it again, the jokes might change because the technology can tell if you're watching a second time.
Okay, so I have another question for you. I mean, it's an old chestnut, but what is your favorite episode of Kimmy Schmidt? I can ask any of you guys.
I know mine.
What's yours?
Yes.
Mine was the Broadway songbook, where we wrote all those songs as if they were written in the times and yeah.
Where Titus finds a piano on the street.
Right. And there was this great song, and I think Tina, you could sing it right now. That was. It was the song from.
Oh, when he's singing "You do not define me, Richard. I cannot be owned. And if I had it my way, Richard, I would die alone. Eaten by birds, dissected by birds, spat out by birds. And then he says it's from Stephen Sondheim's Pinocchio.
By the way, your voice is great. Jeff, you're obnoxious. Carla, what's your favorite episode?
I love the finale. But maybe the one where Kimmy goes and finds her mom, Lisa Kudrow, at the amusement park. I love that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I put John in it.
I have to segue to something because I asked Tina and I asked John. You know, we're doing these crazy things where it began with Joanna Gleason auctioning off her staff from Into the Woods, Bernadette Peters' staff. Oh wait, John, I've never heard more noise in the background. You're fired. I'm muting your mic. Okay, so is there anything you guys would like to auction? We're going to put it up on the eBay site soon.
Yeah, I got a bunch of junk. Stuff.
Carla, I'm taking you off.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to start with I have tons of Mean Girl stuff when I can get back to my office, but I can't right now. So I was going through the house. How much would somebody pay for my first Chicago headshot? What do you think that's worth, John? I was like, I better make sure they know I can squat.
Yeah, was the direction for that, like, I don't know, what do you feel like? Maybe you ate too many prunes,
right? So kids, we don't want to think she's too tall. Also, nice haircut. And
well, that's great hair.
I could get in there and sign that for somebody probably if they want on that, right?
We're auctioning that off. Amazing.
Where was that hanging in your house?
It was not. It was unearthed from a cupboard recently.
But it was framed, so he's got a point.
Yeah, that's true. It was at some point. It was sitting up in a house. You're right. I have some obscure 30 Rock T-shirts. Yes. I got a Shineheart Wig Company. I got a little TGS with Tracy Jordan tank top.
Oh my gosh!
I've got Dark Sensations, which is a really deep cut. This is the name of the strip club that they go to in the pilot, and this actually was a crew shirt. It just says Tina Fey Pilot, 2006.
No!
We don't have a title for the show yet. So all these can be signed. and stuff. And what else, y'all? Oh, this is like for a very special type of theater nerd. Or you, John. This is a shirt that I have, really old. It's really beat up. And it's from 1992, spring of 92, UVA drama. Maybe there's a UVA grad out there who hopefully does not have a tape of Cabaret, which was starring me as not Frau Schneider.
Sally Bowles?
And I stunk.
Wait, Tina, what year was that?
1992.
I was in Cabaret in 1992 at the University of Missouri.
Wait, do you have a shirt? We could sell these together.
I wish I did. Oh my God, I don't even know if there's pictures of that, but I'm sure some Mizzou grad will be all over that. I was Cliff, yes.
You were Cliff?
Of course. Yeah.
If anyone should ever ask you about me one day, Cliff, you have two alternatives. That's as much as I can do.
So, John, you got to bring something to auction. If you don't have
yes.
Do you have something?
All right, wait. I'm wearing a Mad Men thing from season 5, but I also have the last wrap gift from season 7. This is a ladies large, but I do have other sizes of it because
that would fit me.
That woman is missing, and that's evidence. Okay.
Also, this is me as a little baby
Oh.
with my mom.
Will you sign that? Will you sign it?
No, I'm not giving away these. I have like 4 pictures of myself as a little kid.
It's all for the Actors Fund. Okay, make a photocopy and sign it for me.
I'll photocopy it. Can have a tiny me.
Okay, by the way, I've never seen more drinking since The View. What is going on with the cups?
Well, it's still technically morning in LA. I mean, it's 12:17. That's morning. So
Joy Behar? Okay, we gotta wrap this mother up. So, Jeff, I want you to close with a song. The first time I ever saw you perform was at Ars Nova, 2003. And you sang this hilarious, you wrote this hilarious song that I saw, and it just always stayed in my head. So you have to, Tina wants people to warn that it's not child friendly.
It's dirty. So if you have a kid with you, you might want to mute or just kick them out of the room.
It's a song written by myself and Michael Thomas, and it's kind of in the vein of one of those like 1930s Depression era songs, soup, kitchens, and bread lines, like today. Anyway.
All the stuff we're going to
all the stuff we're doing today.
I'm camera operator. Here we go.
The camera.
John, you have to stay and listen.
Oh, I'm staying.
I'm going to take you out. It's too.
All right, we'll see how this goes. Okay.
This song is called Mr. Lucky.
Called Mr. Lucky. Who's that swella, richest Rockefeller, strolling down Park Avenue in a hat and tie? What's his full worth? He's got more dough than Woolworth. The ladies seem to love him. He's a special guy. Who dines on caviar and champagne? It must be Mr. Lucky, whose cheap 10 wife got hit by a train. Good old Mr. Lucky, once he was so heavy-hearted, then all of his good luck started. Now all his woes departed, whose mother-in-law died slowly, whose rotten kids got polio, who won the Irish sweepstakes, and then hats off to Mr. Lucky, whose mistress just miscarried again. Close one, Mr. Lucky, who loves all the happiness you bring us, whose wife never cared for conolingas. There he goes, he's the luckiest man in town. Oh, the rich folks say he's the luckiest man. The much more bang for your buckiest man. That son of a bitch is the luckiest man, the luckiest man in town.
It is so clever and horrible.
Thank you, Michael Thomas.
Okay, so we're saying goodbye to everybody. There's Andrea Martin clapping. Andrea, we love you.
Yay! Love you, Andrea. Talk soon. Bye,
guys.
Bye, everybody. There's James.
Bye.
Bye. I love you all. Bye, Tina. Bye.
Bye, Dr. John LaPook.
So Jeff and Tina, we end each show. By the way, tonight is Colin Donnell and Patty Murin.
8 p.m. Eastern.
8 p.m. Eastern.
By the way,
We
Yeah,
ended
I guess I'm gonna play Mr. Lucky.
Yes, yeah, so we're gonna bring our doggies out. So everyone say goodbye. Andrea, here's our doggies, our little babies. Hold on. So first, here's little Mandy. Thanks everybody.
Oh, what's the name of your dog, Tina?
Teddy. Oh, look.
Hey, meet Ash.
Teddy.
Teddy,
Ash.
Teddy, find your yes.
Perimeter. Teddy, perimeter.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
We'll see you
everyone.
tonight in broadcast.
And broadcast.
Let's see.